So as you can see, we've got two fresh hatchling day geckos, and that's what we're going to talk about in today's video. Okay, so here I am just getting the second little day gecko out of the egg incubating container. And I just want to say that this is the first time that I've hatched day geckos, so this is actually quite exciting for me. I really wasn't for sure if we were going to get these guys to hatch or not, again, because this was the first time. And I kept the egg incubating container pretty simple, as you could see here. It just was simple sphagnum moss, and I just nestled those eggs in there. Now I do have 2 more eggs that will hatch in about 30 days if they're still good. So fingers crossed we will have 2 more day geckos. So one of the things I have learned since this is that apparently it's pretty uncommon for you to hatch both eggs when they are adhered to each other. I'm not well versed on that. Again, this is the first time I've ever hatched them, and I certainly don't contribute this to anything that I've done. It was just pure luck if this happens to be the case. So tried to focus in on those eggs, but the camera just wasn't working. So we're going to put the lid on and put the good eggs up that may hatch in the future, and hopefully, fingers crossed. So here's the first little day gecko. I did kind of capture some video footage of them just to kind of give you an a sense of how tiny these little guys are. Just adorable little things. Him licking his face like that. And I love all the red spots, and only time will tell how much of this red will actually be retained. So we'll just have to follow their progression on the channel. And of course, this little guy had a lot of little spunk, and he didn't want to go into the container right away. Okay, so here is an overview of their setup. You guys can enjoy watching them feed while I talk about it. It's pretty basic. Just have some sphagnum moss in there, a little bit of substrate, and some fake plants. Just enough to, 1, hold enough humidity for them, and 2, to give them plenty of hiding cover, because they are babies. They are going to be afraid that pretty much everything's going to eat them, so they're going to want to hide. So that's pretty essential. And this is just a temporary setup. I am actually currently working on a little bit larger enclosure to keep them a little more long term. So stay tuned for that upcoming video. But for now, let's just watch these guys eat these fruit flies. Now they're dusted with a multivitamin because that's important. So, and they're so tiny, it's actually kind of tricky to get the camera to focus in on them, but nonetheless I got some pretty decent shots, and it's kind of comical to watch these guys. So we'll just let's just watch him feed on some of these fruit flies. Of course, the other gecko has hidden off into the leaf, so it's a little harder to film that one, so we'll focus on this one. Okay, so let's do some random facts about giant day geckos. So giant day geckos are found in the tropical rainforest on the island of Madagascar. The males of this species can get up to 12 inches in length, with the female being about an inch or 2 smaller. The average lifespan for giant day geckos is about 7 to 8 years in captivity. Okay, so these geckos like it hot, and they need a hotspot of around 95 degrees with the ambient temperature between 82 to 86, and then with a nighttime temperature between 75 to 82 will work perfect for day geckos in captivity. In captivity, we feed these day geckos a variety of insects of appropriate size, and that includes crickets, mealworms, waxworms, and even roaches. I also like to add to their diet commercial products that are available either from Pangea or Rapashi. Providing water for your day gecko entails either some type of misting spray unit or a spray bottle, or sometimes just simply lining the top of the enclosure with icicles to allow them to melt and to drip down through the cage throughout the day. Depending on who you ask, your day gecko may or may not be able to save you on your auto insurance. Okay, so that is going to be it for this video. I want to thank you for watching. I apologize for some of the less than perfect shots that you've seen in this video. It was a little tricky to try to film through this plastic container to capture these guys doing their thing. Plus, they're extremely afraid of the camera. I imagine the lens looks like a big old giant eyeball just watching them, waiting to snatch them up for a nice little morsel of a snack. But I promise that we will get better video of these guys in the future. Like I said, this setup is extremely temporary, and I am currently working on the next enclosure for them that will be a little more longer lasting for them. So thanks for watching, and if you've stayed this far, please consider hitting that subscribe button and clicking that bell icon, and we will see you guys in the next video.
Shut up and sit down.